let me first start off just with a few quick observations that I have to share. And these are in no particular order. Plenty more to come. Number one, when we disembarked the ship in Fort Lauderdale, I know this is true for every port, but I was excited. We got our luggage, and I was excited to see that there was global entry. And my wife and I we are global entry. But I was no longer excited when I found out that in order for them to let us go on the line, we had to have our cards. Now, who here has global entry and don't bother bringing your card? After years of having it, you don't need your card. It's your handprint, right? So I don't carry it. Now, well, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, if we say we're global entry and we get to the machine and it doesn't register us, we lied, we go back online. Why do we have to hold our card? So, yes, like everybody else, we had to wait on the long lines. Of course, it moved, but it was long, especially with Harmony in the Seas. So that's one thing to tell your clients, just in case it's the same with every port. Bring your global entry card, physical card, to prove to them that you really are. I just had to get that out there. This stupid rule. Number two. Man, oh man, now of course I've cruised on a lot of ships in the last few years. There we go, Princess, Carnival, several of the new Norwegian Cruise Line ships, and no doubt in my mind, cruising has become more complex and more stressful. So that's bad news for the customer because you have to make reservations in advance. We showed up and I didn't do anything in advance. My wife, Kimberly, was able to come with me, and which is great because she was on vacation. I worked and I played. But I didn't do any pre-reservations. In advance, nothing. So, you know, you got to go to the box office. You have to go to the restaurants to make reservations. Oh my goodness, I'm on vacation. I don't want to wait online. But guess what would have saved the day is if I had a travel agent to say, Stuart, you're going on a ship that requires pre-planning, so let me help you take care of these reservations in advance now. Now, I realize not all restaurants, not all things can be done in advance, but many things can. Or at least prepare me. So, friends, what's the takeaway? If you have clients going on any of these ships that have multiple dining venues, that have multiple shows, and some of which you have to make reservations for, see what you can do in advance for them to reduce stress and reduce risk and add value and convenience. That's where you earn your weight in gold. Does that make sense? It's never been more important for consumers to have you on their side, on their team, in their pocket, telling them, look, trust me, if we don't do this now, you're going to be miserable waiting online and competing for a dinner time that's not before 9 p.m. You know, that's no later than 9 p.m. By the time we got there was no dinner anytime before 9. Just putting it out there. Next. This is my third and last experience with Uber out of Fort Lauderdale or Miami, and I'm just saying this, that I have had nothing but absolute misery because I, just out of sheer luck, I have not gotten drivers who speak any English at all, and I can get by with my Spanish, but we couldn't find each other. We couldn't communicate. We couldn't talk. Aggravating. I'm just saying. Next, I'm on a roll. The line at guest services on board the ship. Now, this is Harmony now. It's a big ship, but it doesn't matter because they don't put, the guest services area is no bigger than any other ship. The lines are enormously long all the time. I could never get through on the phone to ask a question. So if you have a group on board a ship, forget individual clients because I'm not sure what you can do for your individual clients except prepare them that it could be challenging. But if you have a group on that ship, there's the reason why, friends, you need to be there to escort. Because if your clients have a simple question or a problem and they're waiting online, that creates another miserable experience. But if you're there, that's what you take care of, and because you're there, you'll have a direct connect to the onboard meeting planner, right? You guys who have escorted groups before, I know we're talking ships because I'm just off one, that they give you a meeting planner and usually sometimes even a walkie-talkie. Did you know that? And if not a walkie-talkie, they'll give you their phone number. Go to a phone, you call in, and it beeps and they pick up. Did you know that? So let me just stop for a second, see if anybody's had any comments or questions about what I've been saying here. Mickey said she has the global entry card but has lost it. I know. Kimberly, my wife, has lost it too. We got to get a copy, but I'm just saying it's good having. And Sherry has global entry card too. I mean, they're great, but it's important you tell your clients to bring them. All right, let me wrap this up here. It was really nice being in a stateroom that's brand new. There was a night light in the bathroom. Hip, hip, hooray. For those of you, you want to give the most amazing gift in the world to your clients, buy them a little cheap night light from Walmart or anywhere that they can plug in hotel bathrooms and all cruise ship bathrooms, because I hate personally having to turn the light on if I get up in the middle of the night, and maybe it's too much information, but think about it. It's annoying. This ship had the night light, which was awesome, but you want to give a great gift, do that. And if it's not a new ship, give the advice to have people bring an extension cord, because these days we have so many things we have to recharge, and most cruise ship cabins only have one, maybe two plugs. So tell them to bring an extension cord. Just want to remind you of that. The only other thing I'm going to say is this. This was something I saw on a Facebook post, and Lena, I'm not sure if it was in Travel Agent Hacks or if it was just on another group, a Facebook post on my personal, Stuart Lloyd Cohen page, but there was a travel professional who was livid. This is the last thing I'm going to say. We're going to get to your questions and all the stuff sent in, but I really kind of had this pent up and I wanted to share this with you. This particular agent was really aggravated that they spent so much time with clients, and the clients went and booked that maybe it was Costco, something like that. And this particular agent felt that they felt wrong, they felt dissed, they felt so angry that the client, and they didn't use these words, but I am, that the client cheated on them. Used and abused, and then went and booked it someplace else. And, of course I feel terrible because I love you. I love what you do. And I know the client made a mistake by doing that, because now, good luck trying to get somebody one-on-one for help and all the stuff that you guys do to reduce stress and risk, add value and convenience. They're going to lose that. But I'm going to be perfectly brutally honest with you. It's not the client's fault. The last thing we need to do is give clients guilt, because they will never come back if we give them guilt, ever. Anybody who we would give guilt to wouldn't want to be our friends again. Guilt is a bad thing to lay on somebody. It's not the client's fault. Friends, it's our fault. And I say our. I put myself in your shoes as a travel professional and as a business person, okay, just like you, that we don't own these clients, number one. Number two, just because we've done the work doesn't guarantee they're going to book it. And number three, the reason why it's the agent's fault, it's our fault ultimately for not getting that booking, is because we didn't successfully ask for the business. We gave the client, and I know I'm making a big assumption here, but we gave the client too much time to go off and book it on their own like that. We have to be more aggressive and assertive, saying to the client, now's the time, let's get it booked. We can't give them time to shop around and do these things. It's our job to tell clients, now's the time, let's book it. I've got you covered right now. Let's get it done. If we don't do it, then the client is going to say, okay, well, I'm not feeling any obligation to book with this agent. I'm going to book it someplace else. The other part of it is that, and this is probably for individual guests, and I understand there was probably no package offered, although Again, that's why, whether it's a group or individuals, we need to package friends so that when they called Costco, they didn't get the pre-booked dinners, they didn't get the pre-booked shore excursions, they didn't get the pre-booked transfers, they didn't get all the special niceties, the special things that you build in to reduce stress and risk, add value and convenience, and transform the whole experience. There was nothing, sadly, that obligated, that bound that client to stay loyal to that agent. It all comes down to loyalty, and I'll get off my soapbox in just a second. We have to give loyalty to get loyalty. Now, again, I don't want to put down or diss this agent. I don't remember who it was, but at the end of the day, it's our responsibility to ask for the business and to generate such loyalty so that those clients would never think, hear me out, would never even think, consider of booking anyplace else but you. They need you, they want you, they love you. It's not even a thought to pick up the phone and call an 800 number or book it on a .com because they need you, love you so much. You're part of the whole experience. Am I making sense? Do you agree or do you not agree? I don't care if there are lower prices elsewhere because loyalty supersedes that. It does. All right, let's just check here. No comments, really? I'm yapping away here, and you got nothing to say? Do you agree or disagree? Did I hurt anybody's feelings? Has this happened to you? You've worked so much, and the client's booked someplace else. I love you, but it's your fault. There are things we can do to minimize that. And I understand it may never be 100% friends, but it's our role to try to end that. All right, Patty's here. I agree. Sometimes they step aside, get burned, and end up coming back. And yes, that's true. And the thing is, rather than give guilt, Patty, I'm glad you brought this up. So let me close it out with this. Rather than give them guilt, then say, wow, I am surprised. Because there are so many other issues, items, opportunities, things that I was going to work with you to prepare, to plan, to take care of in advance so that you don't have any disappointment cost. You've heard me say this before, that there's no disappointment cost. Now, all right, look, I wish you well. Have a great trip, and just know that I will be second in line because I want your business back. I never want to lose you as a client. I love you. No giving guilt. Just say, have a great time. And for your next one, I'll be there to take care of everything else for you because there's a lot more we needed to do together. What do you think of that, Patty? You leave it that way. There's a lot more we still needed to do together because I don't let my clients come back disappointed. Listen, hey, I got to run. I got a client on line 6. Huh? What do you think? That's not guilt, but you're being honest. Danny says, I agree 101%. Thank you, sir. But Dan, for saying that, I appreciate it. Judy says, Stuart, you have some wonderful comments today. Yes, I'll remind you to package if we can, encouraging me. Thank you. You are most welcome. Sherry says, I agree, but I'd like to hear some ideas on how to create that loyalty. Aha! That, my goodness, I do workshops on that. I do keynotes on that. We could be there together. Buy my book. Where's my book? It's not there. Are You My Travel Agent? That's all about loyalty. It's in the book. And I tell you what, I want to get to all these questions, and then I promise you I'm going to come back to loyalty. Okay? How's that? I'll give you a couple of quick tips there because it's not that difficult. You don't have to buy their business. You don't have to have a loyalty program. It's not. Lena says, I totally agree with you. We never own a client. Some clients, of course, always intended to use us and book themselves, but these are not clients worth keeping. Hear, hear. Did you hear that, everybody? Sometimes these are clients not worth keeping. Sometimes you just got to say sayonara, goodbye, good luck, and then when they call you next year to use and abuse you, if you don't have good vibes about that, if you think that all their intention is 100% to go someplace else, then say, listen, I can't help you. I cannot help you. I got to go. I got clients on line 8. Thank you, Lena, for making sure we understand that. because it's true. We cannot win them all. What it is about, if you ever read Tom Peters, he said it's not about trying to win all the business, it's about improving your batting average. He uses the word close a sale. I don't. He says instead of closing 3 out of 10, try to close 4, try to close 5. I never say close, because if you say close a sale, then there is no loyalty. See that, Sherry? We can't think close a sale if we want loyal clients. We have to keep them loyal forever. Karen says, I like it. And Sherry says also, how do we know which cruise lines really need to be booked in advance? That I can't tell you. That's a great conversation to have with your preferred brands that you love doing business with most, and maybe that'll dissuade you or wade you. Is that? No, that doesn't work. To do more or less business with particular lines. But I don't want to say they're all changing to that, because they're not. There are some ships that still have sort of the old-fashioned, the old school. If you guys have been in the business a couple of years, you know what I'm talking about. First seating, second seating, and showtime. Now, all the options are great, what's going on out there. But, my friends, man, is it stressful. So, Sherry, I don't know which lines. All right, here we go. I'm going to take a sip. We're going to dive right into questions. And if you have comments, questions, issues, go ahead and type it in now, and I'll come back and review it. That is good coffee. All right. Here we go. Sherry, going to start with you. Can you go over how the financing part of a package deal works and how the host agency fits into the puzzle? So this is a real complex one. We've talked about this on many different Ask Stuart hours. Whenever I do live group summits and group boot camps, this comes up too. So when you say financing, I am assuming, Sherry, that you're talking about when you create the package. How do you collect the various monies, especially if you're paying various vendors, and how do you sort out the money? So again, I can't spend a lot of time on this. We've talked about it many times on other podcasts, but let me give you my best right here. And agents out there in the house, if you got your tips, go ahead and type them out, and I'll read them to Sherry so we can all help. And we can also go into more detail in our private Facebook group. But number one, you want to work with a supplier that takes an overpayment. Like Anthony was just on, so it's top of mind. They will take up to $250 in an overpayment, so that if you're building in a package, Sherry, you can add in all those other costs and over-collect. And Princess will end up giving you back that overage when it comes to commission time. So you'd have to wait for that money. But at least you can have it all on the Princess charge, if you will. The other option is to perhaps get the first deposit, the very first deposit, by a check. Therefore, you can make that amount any amount you want, and that'll cover the true deposit for the hotel or for the cruise ship. But it will also cover the overage that you need to collect for all the other add-ons. The other way, if you have a merchant account, not everybody does. Sometimes your host or your consortia, they have a merchant account that you're able to use and collect it. The challenge there is that there's going to be multiple names on people's credit cards, and sometimes that confuses them. But if you tell people from the beginning how it's going to work, they'll do it. They'll trust you. If you surprise them and go, oh, by the way, you're going to see XYZ on your credit card, they can be like, whoa, who is that? This is a surprise. Set it up from the beginning, Sherry. If you set up the payment plan right up front, you're best. And also, I believe in as few payments as possible, because you don't want to be chasing down the money, right? Who wants to be a collector and chasing down money? You don't. So I'm a big believer in the deposit and the final payment, and you're done. You know, if you have to add in another payment, I get it, especially if it's costly, like a river cruise, perhaps. And sometimes you'll collect a little bit up front. And Sam, we're going to get to you, because you talked about, well, what do you do when one group ends and they're interested in the other in booking the next one? Well, that's a great time to collect $25, $50. That payment goes towards the next trip, even if you don't have it planned. And you can tell them, hey, listen, you don't want to go, I'll give you your money back. But at least you're getting money in. In any case, that's what I want to share with you, Sherry. And the host agency, it would not be fair for me to tell you a general rule, because every host works differently. I would imagine that all hosts need to have all business funnel through them, so they take their piece. They're your host, whether it's one of their preferred brands or not. I don't know, but you know, you want to play by the rules here. And it's also possible they will have a merchant account that you can use, and ask them what their remedy is, because if they are a group, if they embrace groups, this cannot be the first time they've had this issue come up where you put together a group, you're collecting a package in an overpayment. Sherry, tell me if that helps. So I'm going to go to question number 2. Can I create a package through a tour operator like FunJet? Is that something I have to call them directly to put together? So while I'm not intimately familiar with FunJet, maybe some of you who are here in the program today are. Tell me if you are, and I'll tell that to Sherry. If I'm not mistaken, FunJet, yes. FunJet will allow you to put together custom groups. And of course, FunJet's going to be largely hotels and resorts. And I'm all for that. So the answer I'm going to go out on a limb and say yes. You definitely want to call them. And I think it's a great opportunity, especially when you have a company that embraces groups that usually will give you online portals to make payments, to collect client information, and to piece together a group. See, when you put a group together and you create a package, you're becoming a little bit of an FIT agent. Do you know what FIT means? Flexible independent travel. Foreign independent travel has many different definitions, but that's an important part of the process. Sherry, did we help here? Here we go. All right, I'm going to dive in. Karen says they all have to be booked in advance. We don't book them enough in advance. So Karen, you're referring back to, if I'm not mistaken, all the stuff on board the ships that have to be booked way in advance. My goodness, yes. So believe me, you're going to save your clients a lot of aggravation by telling them, guess what? Especially if they've never been on that ship, been with that cruise line, and aware of what they need to do. Kathy says, can you give some tips on how to get past the secretary to get to the person that will decide on a group? When is it okay to leave a voicemail? Ooh, I'm coming back to that one. Hold that thought, Kathy. That's a good one. Karen says she may be just asking, how do you bundle? Example, the cruise, adding in a cocktail party, pre-hotel on the cruise, and excursion. Bundle it all together for one price. And I do believe that's what Sherry was talking about. So whether you call a package or call it a bundle, it's the same difference. The bottom line is, when you are talking to group clients, from the beginning, friends, you want to say, and this is in boot camp, you want to say, you want to get permission to package. And what you're going to say is this: hey, this is great, and I am here to make sure you don't miss anything. I'm here to make sure you don't come back disappointed. That's my job, is to make sure you have even a better time you ever thought possible. And that's because I'm going to reduce risk and stress, add value and convenience, and transform the experience. So that in mind, will you give me permission to create a package? Meaning, I'm going to build in all the things that I know you're going to end up wanting when you get there. But the lines are going to be long. It's going to be sold out. You're going to get lousy seats. It's going to cost you too much money. If you allow me to create a package so everything is bundled in, then I will give you a much, much more higher value package. Yes, it will be more expensive, but that's because it includes a lot more. I'm going to supersize your vacation. So when you get there, it won't be too late. Does that make sense? I hope that helps. You're most welcome. Karen says, this is for you, Sherry, that group information is on the FunJet website. And Clavia says, hi, welcome back, Clavia. For land trips, you can also use local DMCs to customize a group itinerary for you, and they will give you net pricing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What is a DMC? A DMC is a destination management company. DMC, Destination Management Company. These are usually very little small operators around the world who focus on inbound guests. And they give a very, very high level of service. They will normally give you net pricing. And these are the kind of very, very special things you build into a package. Okay? And have and somebody on the ground who's local, who lives there, and get very personalized attention. Right? They're normally very small little companies, generally speaking, that take care of private tours and very special events for your clients. And it could be for a couple, or it could be for a group. And I know there's a couple of groups out there, Travel Leaders Group, formerly Vacation.com, and all their associated groups. they have what's called in-country partners. That just remind me of that. I work with them. They're one of my clients too. All right, so I'm going to go back here to Kathy, your question. Can you give me some tips how to get past a secretary, get to the person that will decide in the group? When is it okay to leave a voicemail? So here's the deal. Here's what I like to do. First of all, let me give this to you, and then I got to dive right back in. We got so many more great questions here from Sam and from Hans. If you go in now, listen, Kathy. If you go in with the intention of selling, you'll never get in the door. Then you're just another solicitor. Okay, you're just never going to get through the gatekeeper, as we call the secretary, the gatekeeper. What I suggest you do is go in knowing that you're going to end up being a problem solver. Remember, we talked about this in boot camp a lot of these Ask Stuart hours when I do my live summits, which is you don't sell group travel, you use group travel as a problem solver. So just because, Kathy, you have a great idea, my guess is you have a great idea for a group that you want to present. No, you want to sell. How do you know it's solving a problem that they need it? You need it, you want it because you want to sell it and make some money. You want to get them as a client. That means you're selling your big idea. The whole idea is to get in the door and find out if they've got a problem and if your great idea can solve that problem, because then you're in great shape. The first thing you want to do is request a 15-minute meeting. I have done this to tremendous success. You want to request a 15-minute meeting, and there's basically 5 ways to get in the door. And if you're just coming in trying to cold call and sell, it's not going to work. The 15-minute meeting is sort of a discovery meeting. You just want to have a conversation. You want to meet the person. Kathy, maybe if it's another local business, you can say, hey, I'm a local business owner too. You're down the block. You got 15 minutes for me. I would love to learn more. You're going to learn more. That's how you do it, Kathy. You tell that secretary, hi, yes, I just want a 15-minute meeting. I'm another business owner down the block, and I've been a big fan. I just want to learn more. So the 5 ways to get in the door, let's see if I can remember it. Perhaps you are a member of that organization or association. That will help get you, because you need a way in, right? It really helps. Number 2, you're a friend of somebody. You've been referred. So you can name drop. That's important. Hey, I'm a friend of Stuart, and he said you're the person I need to meet with. Have you got 15 minutes? I want to learn more about what you do. Number 2. Number 3, as a passion partner. Let's say if it's a fundraiser and you share the same passion, then there's that connectivity. Let's see. Number 4, as a customer. Maybe you're just a customer of that other business. Right? So it's not a membership thing. You are a customer. You've been doing business with them and you love it and you want to learn more. You want to meet the owner. And the last one, I don't remember. What's the last one? It'll come to me, but I don't want to take the time to think about it. I'll post it in our Facebook group. So Kathy, that's it. That's how you got to do it. You can't come in selling something. You don't want to spill the beans and give them your big idea, because they get big ideas all day long. And you run the risk of them saying, no, I'm not interested. And they have never read the whole big idea, because you're just selling something. You're selling your something you need, not something they need. Does that make sense? Tell me if that helps. Let me go check the question board here, and then we're going to dig into Sam's questions that came in next. Let's see. Okay, nothing else posted, so here we go. You guys good? Are you with me? Is it you getting what you need today? I want to make sure, and I know you're all busy. I'm grateful for your time. We're sort of at the halfway mark right now, and I want to make sure I'm delivering for you. And I've missed you guys, and I'm glad to be here. I think, was it a week? I'm not even sure. Well, maybe even not, because I try to do it so we don't miss any time. I like to do these every other week. Okay. Okay, this is from Sam, Travel Good Company. So listen, everybody, this is a great question and a great opportunity that is so often missed. I've been thinking about how we have been learning about packaging, promoting, conducting group tours. But is there anything special I should be doing after a successful group tour? I mailed out handwritten thank you notes. Yay! So I want you to see something here. Sam, Look, I got my, well, this is an envelope, but I've got thank you notes that I've got to get out today to thank my clients who just hired me to do on Harmony Seas, my client. So I write hand thank yous all day long, and that is a definite 100%. Friends, if you're not doing it, you're missing out because so few people do it. You will shine, you will glow by sending a handwritten note. And send each a small thank you gift. Very nice, Sam, that I picked up while in Ireland. Beautiful. But what about beyond that? At the end of the tour, of course, everyone on the tour, listen, everybody, asked me where I'm going to travel next. So clearly, Sam was there. She traveled with it. People love going with you, Sam, don't they? They go because you go. They go where you go. They go when you go because you're the group leader in this case, too. That's important. Ask where I'm going to travel next, and will I be putting together another group in another year or two? Actually, I was so engulfed with the preparations for the group and a couple of other groups leaving at the same month, as well as other clients, I didn't give it any thought to what's next. Should I be thinking about that already? So you know what the answer is. The answer is absolutely, and I know it's not easy because we get so wrapped up in this group right now that's happening and taking care of our people right now. So I'm going to give you 2 points right here that I hope you all will embrace, especially if you're going as the group leader. You're going to be there on site, which I endorse 1,000%. You need to be there. I think it is a very, very, very great idea to have a general idea of where you're going to go next, so that you can start that. Remember the group launch sequence? You can sort of do a survey verbally with everybody and start a whisper campaign, sort of all at the same time when you're with everybody, because they're all gelling. They're having a great time. There's no better time to sell the next trip than when they're all together. It's like summer camp, right? Everyone, it's going to be sad when they leave and they can't wait to get back together, but when everybody gets home, they get caught up in life and they forget you're not top priority anymore. So go in at least knowing generally where and when, if you can, because then you keep it a secret. You can build anticipation. You can tease them and say, oh yeah, you're working on a great idea, and you can say, and if we were to go to, I'm just going to make this up, to Austria. What are the things you wouldn't want to miss? You want to start getting people engaged, or just, hey, if we were going to do another cultural tour, what are the things that you loved on this trip that you want to make sure we do for the next trip? Get them engaged. Try not to spill the beans, unless you've got it booked and it's done and you're ready. You're ready. Why not? But I'm saying, Sam, I know you're busy, so at the bare minimum, have a general idea. If you've got extra time, get the next one nailed down. But here's what you want to do. You never, ever, ever, ever want to end that group trip without at least passing around a clipboard and a sign-up form and saying, look, either you have no idea what the next trip is going to be, and I hope you do, because it will help you get a lot more sign-ups. Say, look, I'm working on something really big for 2019. Are you all having a great time? Yay! Well, I think you're going to love it. I'm going to go. I'm putting together an incredible package now. So much of the stuff we've been doing here that you guys love, and even more. And it's a new destination I'm thinking about. So I'll tell you what. I can't give you too many details, but if you have any feedback, tell me what you want to do, where you want to go, let me know. But I'm going to pass around this clipboard. Sign your name, and this is no obligation. And if you give me $25 before this trip is done, then that $25, when I do announce the details, I will double that. So it actually will be worth $50, let's just say. Because I don't like discounting, but maybe for your repeaters you do something special and you build it into the price so you're always safe. And friends, at any time, if you want this $25 back, if you don't want to go, if you need the cash to buy lunch for the kids, tell me. I'll give you the cash back. It's 100% refundable. because I'm going to be holding on to it for, could be for a year before I announce the details. But if you sign up now, you'll be, I will double it. And if you don't want to give a discount, that's okay, you know, cash back. Just say you'll be a part of the VIP sale. You will get right of first refusal. You get to pick your staterooms, and you're going to get another bonus. You know, whatever that may be. You see what I'm saying? So, Sam, that's what I would do. At the very least, get that sign up. Start to collect feedback. If you know more about the trip, start that Whisper campaign. Save the date. April 2019. We're going someplace fun. Really, where? I can't tell you. Can't tell you. But where do you want to go? I'll watch my face. If you say the place that I'm thinking of, you know, get information from them. So yes, you absolutely need to leverage it, because if you got 50 people, 20 people, 100 people, and they're already pre-sold on the next one, then they're going to put it in their calendar, and you tell them, look, save the date. Spring of 2019, we've got something big coming, so make sure you save money, make sure you save time. If you plant the seeds, friends, you'll have a much easier chance launching and already starting with that cohesive base and building on that. That's how groups grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger each year. Let's see here. Kathy, you are most welcome. Mickey says, I posted this in the group, but I'm curious about your thoughts. Tour operator, air, or direct? Yeah, I'm not good with the air thing, so let me take this on, everybody. I posted this in the group, but I'm curious about your thoughts. Tour operator, air, or direct to airline? Friends, do you guys have any experience here? I'm going to give you my 2 cents, Mickey, on this, which is that, you know, the first reaction I have is go with the tour operator, because then there's another level of responsibility, a burden that's off your shoulders, because you're dealing with them, and they might even pay you a commission on that air because you're working through a tour operator. Do they still do those things? If you're doing it direct, maybe you can get a group rate and have more control over it, because if you deal with a tour operator or even the cruise line air, you don't get a lot of those specific details until closer in. So when you go direct, if you can get a group rate, more control over pricing, more control over seating and everything, that would be great if you can deal with that, if you know who your airline rep is and can work to the group department. The other thing is that, you know, it's just like with the cruise lines, and I know you're talking about tour operators, but if you use their air, they know where you are. Gosh forbid if the flight is delayed, if it's canceled, they know it, and they'll make they'll try to get you there. If you use direct air, not to the tour operator naturally, that's just weight on you. That's burden on you, of course, to keep track of all the flights, make sure all is good, and have backup plans should something be delayed or canceled. Now, if it's a tour, then it may not be as bad, because especially if it's at a hotel or a resort, if they get there a little bit late, not so bad. Bad, but not so bad. If it's a cruise ship, they get there late, problem. They missed the ship. I don't know if that helps at all, if you're looking for something more granular on that, Mickey. Karen says, will we be able to get my AMA question I sent? The AMA question. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to go find it right now. I didn't post. Do me a favor, Karen. I didn't print it on this. Oh, my goodness. Remind me, Karen. I'm late responding to you. Remind me of it. Unless you want me to put your microphone on, I will do that. Lost my video. Did you guys lose my video? Can you still see it? Lynn said she did. I think I'm on. It says I'm on. Tell me. Sherry said, is a hand-designed card from Send-Out Cards close enough to handwritten? Yes, Send-Out Cards is good. I use another thing. I used to do Send-Out Cards. I have a different online program I use. It's good, not the best, because that envelope is not handwritten. Your signature is not handwritten. I still love the handwritten card. What I love about Send-Out Card, or I forgot the other company that I use. It's really great, really inexpensive, is that you could take a picture, upload it from the destination, and mail it out right away, you know, which is really, you can do really fun stuff, and it's not handwritten. You don't have to worry about postage. You could be international. Mickey said, do you send handwritten thank you notes upon booking and not after travel? So many people cancel, so I would think it's better to do afterwards. So the handwritten thank you note, I would actually send both times. You see, when we talk about follow-up, Mickey and everybody, there's 6 different times you need to follow up. Number one is right after the sale. Immediately after the sale, you want to follow up with a thank you. Okay? It makes it a little harder for them to cancel or to go someplace else. Then you want to follow up again right before they travel. Right before they travel. And that's not a handwritten thank you, but you can say thank you again. I'm here. What do you need? Let's get things going. Let's make sure you're all set to go. Then during the trip, that's another time to follow up during the trip. Can you send a little something? Can you send them a note saying, hey, thinking of you. I know you're out at sea right now, but just want you to know I'm thinking of you and miss you. I hope you're having a great time. How was that water slide? Then you want to follow up immediately after they come back. So I'm just saying you can never follow up too many times, but I think right after you get that payment, right after the booking is made, even if it's not final deposit, if it's just if it's just deposit, absolutely. Karen says, Sam, you could create a photo book for them of the trip and send as a Christmas present. Great idea. Photo book is a great idea. Especially you do it online, click, click, and it ships there. Karen says, important to ask the group leader, for example, a chef, when she wants to go next year. Right, especially if you've got that group leader. In this case, I think, Karen, I think Sam is the group leader, but if you have a special guest group leader, of course you work with them. And indeed, you want to know where they want to go and lock them in for the next trip. Karen says, I'm planning my 12th trip with my chef. Wow! Did you hear that, everybody? That's inspiring. Karen has done 12 trips with her chef. Huge! That's so exciting. I wish we had more time. I would ask you to turn your microphone on so we could hear. All right, hang on a second. I want to get to some of Hans's questions here, and then I'm going to come back here. We have a very, very active board here, which I love. Very exciting. Hans says, I'm trying to put together a registration form for my Alaska group. Now I realize every group is different, but I don't recall if there is a form section in boot camp. So the answer is no, there's not a form section in boot camp, and my goodness, I'm glad you're pressing me on this because this is key. More often than not, I get questions about forms because I'm a big advocate of forms, right? It makes you more efficient. The people like it better. It's easier. You can collect stuff in a database. You have a trail of this information. And no, the forms are sort of scattered throughout boot camp, and I always offer to send you guys the links of forms I create, but there's not an area in boot camp which I need to do because I know everybody needs help there, and I want to deliver this to you. So I appreciate that you're pushing me on this, Hans. Do other agencies have standard forms for all groups? I'm asking everybody right now. You guys have standard forms that you use, whether it's a MailChimp form. I use JotForm for my forms. So we'll check the board, see if anybody does that, and then we can do a lot of sharing in our Facebook group. Is credit card information requested on the form? I'm going to answer that right now. Of course, it would have to be a secure form. Secure, HTTPS, to capture that. You might find, Hans, that most clients won't enter their credit card information there. Now, I realize if you have set up a payment plan for your clients, and if you tell them, look, on May 1st, we're going to charge you $200. On July 1st, I'm going to charge you $600. So give me your credit card information, give me pre-permission, pre-approval to hit your card, and I'll do it automatically. Some of you do that stuff. And in that case, yes, you want to collect it on a secure site. But even so, my friends, you might find consumers a little bit hesitant to enter that. But there are secure forms that will hold it securely. And what you can always do is don't ask for the security code, or leave one piece of information off so that you can capture that manually. I'm just saying it gives them any peace of mind. Because it is a tricky issue, and I think it's a good thing to capture, because how many times do we get the credit card information wrong, or we have to chase them down for the card again, they give it to us over the phone and we charge it. A lot of times suppliers or brands, if they offer you an online portal, does this make sense, where you can book your clients, if it's groups or individuals, so many of the lines do, then you can just send them the link and they enter their credit card information right in and pay direct versus you. So you're basically using their payment system, their forms instead. It'd be great if they could take that overpayment. Okay, so a general interest form. So you can have forms for everything, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to share a ton of links in the Facebook site so you can see all of my forms on JotForm. That's the only way to do it, because I use it for my businesses, I use it to collect feedback, I use it for surveys, I use it for my river cruise, and you can copy everything that I've written. But I used it for, so you're right, the name, the address, the phone, their email. Yes, get the passport number with the expiration date. Yes, you want to do a separate one, and make these separate. You don't want to make them too long because nobody's going to sit there and fill them out. But Hans and everybody, by capturing this information, having people type it in themselves, and after they click submit, a copy goes back to them, a copy goes to you, and the copy goes to them and says, please review this to make sure it's accurate. Because if there is a mistake on the passport number, on the expiration date, a mistake on your birth date, or your spelling of your name, then it's your fault, not mine. Because this information is going to be passed to the brand, passed to the airline, passed to the supplier. So it's essential you review this. And by submitting it and not telling me if there's an error, then if changes have to be made, you are responsible for the change because of the error. It's such a great way to protect yourself, to CYA, cover your And I would do especially the travel insurance opt-in, opt-out, whatever, you want to do that. And yes, I will review, and I'll send out links to all of my forms that you can play around with, you can look at and model. And I'm making this commitment again to you that I'm going to do a forms section because they're invaluable, and it saves so much heartache by collecting incorrect information, especially when it's critical stuff that gets passed to the airline, passed to the supplier. So you have one more question there, Hans. I'm going to come back to it. Let me get back to the boards here. Clavia says, I just escorted a group to Dubai. Woo! I've been to Dubai. It's really a weird place. Pretty awesome and weird. Good for you. And they are asking where we are going next year. Now I am busy pulling together an itinerary for Greece, since most had interest in that country. So that's awesome. And the key is, apparently you did not know at the time that they wanted Greece, but you got that information. So it sounds like, Clavia, that you have already been communicating with them. They know, right? You're working on next year's trip. And what you want to do, please, 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 stay in constant contact with them. So, Clavia, do you have a private Facebook group for this Dubai group? Do you? I hope you do, because friends, for every group you want to create a private Facebook group, just like I did for my river cruise, because then you can continue talking to them. Keep the excitement. It's easier than just banging out emails if you have on an email distribution list, because people communicate, they talk, and they're going to go back and share pictures with each other. And I think it's great that you are working on the next trip, but keep communicating. Keep the momentum going before they lose interest, because they're going to get back into life and forget about you. Stay in their face once a month or more, sharing pictures and begin the process of the group launch sequence with the Whisper campaign, and that it's coming soon, and start creating your one-question surveys, getting information. Hey, if we were to go to Greece, what are the cultural aspects that excite you the most? What are the sites that are on your bucket list that are no-miss sites? You can start that process. Karen says, at our finale dinner each year, the last night of the trip, we ask everyone what was their most favorite part of the trip. That's when it comes up, and that's where we may go next year. Great, simple, easy question. You're not asking them to obligate themselves, right? They're not obligating themselves, but they're sharing at the finale dinner. That's great, Karen. I appreciate that. Sam says, Yowza, I did drop the ball, but I think I have some ideas on how to recover. Everyone in the group exchanged email addresses, and we are still in contact with one another through these group emails and are still sharing pictures. So thank you for your advice, as I have been coasting since we returned from Ireland. Hey, that's all right. It's all right. As we go along, we learn new tricks and tips. That's what life's all about. Every day we hopefully get a little bit smarter, and the fact is they already love you, so all is not lost. And again, I don't know, Sam, if you have a private Facebook group, if that's where they hang out. Some people, you may be dealing with people who don't use Facebook at all. So come up with a different strategy. It could be email. They could be local to you. Maybe you meet them for coffee. So it doesn't always have to be online. Mickey said there's a $450 difference. Oh, Mickey, so you're talking about the air difference. Wow. Is that what you're talking about? Holy cow. Karen says, I did not include air in my packages because many clients are using frequent flyer miles. Let them do their own air. That's another great option too. What I would suggest though is that you send a form to them so they tell you their air so you know where they're at. Wouldn't that be a wonderful service to provide? They just fill it in. You don't have to, it takes no extra time, but at least you have a list of where everyone is coming in from, and that's your role as the group, as the travel agent. If there's a delay, you know even before, and you can see when they come into the airport. If you're going to be their escort, you can do a meet and greet, and you know where they're arriving and when. So Mickey says, yeah, the tarp rider is more expensive. Wow, that's big. Lena says, you see me? Cool. So the Karen is working. Karen, you see me. Sherry says you can pay an extra charge for them to use your handwriting. Oh, that's cool. So you're talking about send-out card, so it can sort of scan your handwriting. That's interesting. That's pretty cool. I love the personal touch, and I think send-out card and this other, I forgot the name of the company that I use, I think I like them particularly when I'm traveling and I see a picture, or if I'm at a trade show or a networking event. Listen to me. Here's what I'll do. Get this. I'll take a picture with them. You know, take a selfie, and I'll go back to my room. Honest to goodness, I'll upload it on a card, right? And I'll mail it. So by the time, a few days, whatever, they're like, wow, that's pretty cool. You know? Mickey says, my host sends many automated follow-ups. I'm specifically asking about the handwritten note. Yeah, those automated follow-ups, friends, you know, some people love getting them. Some people don't. If they don't, they opt out. If they do, then they look for deals and options. But the handwritten note, I believe, can be sent out as often as you want, before the sale, during the sale, after the sale, when you're thinking of somebody. There's nothing more critical in business right now. The AMA question. Whew, I'm so sorry, Karen. The AMA question. I have a new group manager who has 8 women wanting to go on an AMA Waterways Tulips cruise. So we decided to fill in with other gardeners. Sent out a direct mail to 30 local garden clubs, signed the contract with AMA, including deposit for next April. Yee-haw! Very exciting. You have a theme. You have an affinity. And the key is, I would do the same 15-minute meeting with all of these 30 local garden clubs to make sure that this is something that, to show them why they want to do this. So don't just sell it to them, I would say, Karen. I would say set up these 15-minute meetings. Hopefully they'll give you more time, and see what their problem is. And if they don't have no problem, they're not going to buy into this. But their problem could be they want to do an event with their members. They want to experience tulip time. They want to bring all the people together and travel the world and do fun stuff they've never done before. They've done it before, and they didn't like the travel agent they worked with last time, where they booked direct and they felt ripped off. So I would do the same thing, Karen, with that. And I promise you I will give you all the follow-up you deserve, because you sent me 2 emails, and I try to respond as fast as I can. I do. Please trust me. Karen says, Vicky texted her, AMA coordinator next steps to book her 8 women. He advised her ship was sold out. I think we have to pay a deposit. AMA has an obligation to call us ahead of time, right, to tell us status of the sailing, because, right, you can block space, but they won't actually take staterooms out of inventory, so you have to really monitor that. Question, did you front money for your family to get actual cabins, or from family? Karen, great question. I actually took a very, very big risk. I did a partial charter. I did a part-ship charter. It's a whole different ballgame. I got very, 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 very good net pricing as far as river cruising is concerned. But when I bought them, I owned them. Now, I didn't pay it all up front. I paid it out in stages. But when it's a part-ship charter, you buy it, you own it, and I bought specific stateroom numbers to answer your question. So I'm not the guy you want to ask about that with the river cruise, because I do understand that generally speaking, you can't block specific staterooms unless you put up extra deposit monies. So what I would say you do is you tell people, say, listen, space is on an available basis. The early birds, you get your first pick, and we'll do it right there on the spot. Here's the money I need from you. We'll get it in. We'll get you cabin number. There's no greater inspiration than that to get people to move off their duff, to get that money in, and to pick the stateroom they want. Pick the stateroom you want. The earlier you book, you get to pick the stateroom. Now, you and I all know there's no bad stateroom on a river cruise. Of course, you want to have your own, especially with AMA, you want to get your own French door. My preference is it's worth the extra money, not having a portal. You want to be above, get the double windows that they have, which are awesome. Lena says, if you use a service like TravelJoy, you can make forms as well, and all the information stays with the clients. Other info such as their emails, so you can make payments to TravelJoy. Travel insurance waiver as well. So TravelJoy, friends, TravelJoy. Thank you, everybody. This was very, very fulfilling for me. I loved it. It kept me on my toes. I hope it was fulfilling for you. I'm grateful you're in group boot camp. If you're not, come on in. We do this every other week.